So I've been watching these videos now for a little while where you have these young financial consultants. He does these interviews rather with various people, and they got bad finances, credit card debts and so on and so forth. So what's the underlying cause of all these financial difficulties? The answer is going to surprise you. The root problem to everybody's financial problems, most of the time, I'd say maybe 97% of the time, is actually psychology. Lack of emotional control, a lack of clarity in terms of analyzing the situation for what it is, and then reacting accordingly. Now, your humble Uncle Steph, when he was cousin Steph, had to go through some pretty interesting situations, almost dying, a few other things. And this makes you a little bit more stoic, calms you down, and allows you to view the world perhaps a little bit more, with a little more clarity. A little more clarity, that's important, clarity. So because of that emotional, mental clarity, I was able to find myself in a very good position financially and life-wise quite young. So I was able to retire / semi-retire at about 30 years old. That's 8,000 years ago for me. So how did I do it? The exact process, or the exact things I did rather, are irrelevant for you because times have changed. What you could do to achieve that in the 90s, in terms of the specifics, in terms of the specific things that I did, not necessarily good for today, but the principles and the basic methodologies, they apply 100% today. Is what everybody does. So first and foremost, you have to realign your emotions when it comes to money. So you have to learn to A, not worry about what other people will think about you. B, you have to have impulse control. You have to change your associations with buying, meaning when you buy stuff, you should start to feel bad. You should start to feel bad about it. It should derive negative emotion when you acquire things, for the most part. I know that sounds weird. Unfortunately, we are conditioned through popular media and so forth to buy stuff that we don't necessarily need. So yeah, I'm not going to go on and on in this video because it's just a YouTube video, but understand that if you want to become financially independent, the first thing you have to do, and it's crucial, is you have to realign your emotional disposition vis-a-vis spending. In other words, you got to attach negative emotions to spending. You want to become someone who prefers to save, to live frugally. Because let me tell you, over time, as you build up cash, as you build up investments, when you have no debt, your life has become so much easier, it's so stress-free. There's an old Buddhist saying or expression, in time, that which you own will come to own you. And I can tell you, this is so true. This is so true. I still own some stuff here, but whenever I sell stuff or not buy stuff, I feel a little bit more free. So I've always been. I'm very careful about what I spend my money on because I know that in time, all these things that I own, they literally come to own you because then you're worried about losing them or things getting damaged. There's nothing like having a piece of cheap furniture from IKEA, but you don't care if somebody busts it, or you don't care too much because it's just a cheap piece of furniture. Anyway, I hope you found this useful. If you've been having financial problems, realize that the first thing you have to do is you're going to have to change your association to money. Other things you got to do is you got to increase your value as an individual. You got to increase your reputation. You got to start hustling. You got to get rid of your high interest debt. You got to start paying those off aggressively. You got to get an emergency fund in place. Then you got to start investing aggressively. I've covered these in other videos, and I'll probably cover them again in future videos in more detail. But anyway, get the psychology going, and that's half the battle, Well, actually, that's a big part of the battle. you.